Shout out Michael Thomas. Please play.
You know what? I
Please.
second that, Mike. I got you starting at wide receiver 1 this year. So
Please?
can you please play? Please,
It's been like 2 years.
please play, Mike. Please play.
You know,
Please.
New Orleans wants you to play. But I mean,
Since we begging, Sean, Christian McCaffrey. Shout out to Christian McCaffrey. You need to sit down this off season. Like, don't go outside, shoot hoops. Like, don't take the trash out. Like,
here we are. This is the But Peep This podcast. I guess we should probably start off with some introductions since the people don't really know who we are.
yeah. Why don't you go first there, Sean?
Cool. So my name is Sean. I teach currently. That will not be the case for too much longer. Yeah. This is I'm doing this podcast with my good friend, and we started this because we like to talk a lot of shit. We like to talk a lot of shit. Let's just call it what it is.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, like sports, music, pretty much everything that we're going to talk about while we do this podcast.
Okay, well, my name is Lional, aka L Boogie, aka Dragon Slayer 23. I am currently residing in Indianapolis, Indiana. Yes, it's cold. It kind of sucks here, but whatever. I am not a teacher like Sean. I am currently a project manager, and it's kind of fun. Love sports, roll tide, go Pats, love music. Pretty much everything we're going to talk about, like Sean said, along with whatever the hell we want to.
Oh, also, I'm from Jacksonville. Well, not from Jacksonville. I live in Jacksonville, from Louisiana. But that's a conversation for another day.
And I am also not from Indianapolis. I am from a very, very small town in rural Alabama. So, once again, roll tide.
Yeah, we got a lot to talk about with that one.
We do.
All right. So where do we want to start today?
All right, Sean, peep this. I was sitting at my desk today. It was a little bit of a slow day, and I was thinking, what album or project right now are you really, really hot on?
Ooh.
And what project kind of disappointed you this year?
So are we restraining it to like the past like 365 days, like one full year? Is that what we're doing? Or just what I've been listening to recently?
What you've been listening to? We can go pre-pandemic. So from 2020 to now, what have you been hot on, and what kind of disappointed you?
2020 until now. I'll tell you one thing I've been listening to a lot more recently. The new Denzel Curry album, "Melt My Eyes, See Your Future," was really. I thought it was really, really good. 14 songs, 45 minutes. Another solid. I'm a big fan of Denzel Curry. I think he makes great music. John Wayne's probably. It's been on my repeat for the past like 2 weeks. So I've been really hype on that lately. Yeah, I would say that's probably the thing I'm like the most impressed with. I mean, I really enjoyed the Silk Sonic project. I was really big on that, and I was excited for that. Earl Sweatshirt's new album was really good. Sick. I really enjoyed that. Yeah, those are just kind of some of the main things I've been listening to.
Okay. Well, for me, I've been listening to a lot of non-hip hop, let's say that. But the new Big Crit album, Digital Roses Don't Die, 17 songs, 38 minutes and 1 second. This was a groove from the intro to the last song. It's been in my rotation a lot. Also, there's been a lot of Juice WRLD in my rotation. His new album was it's kind of hard to listen to his songs because you know he's dead and you know how he died, and it's kind of like when Linkin Park's lead singer, what's his name, Chester Bennington. Chester Bennington committed suicide, and then you go back and you listen to all of his songs and you're like, man, his whole all of his fame was just a cry for help, and
Yeah,
nobody
that's kinda
listened.
how I feel about when I go back and listen to Mac Miller. It's like, damn, it was really like there was something here, especially that last album. Oh, that last album
Yeah,
was it's tough to listen
yeah,
to.
absolutely. But yeah, I've been listening to like Big Crit in general is in my rotation. A lot of I'm gonna regret this, but a lot of Kanye West
Ah!
for like my beautiful dark twisted fantasy and back. Like his earlier work is been in my rotation heavily. I'm not really a fan of all of his new stuff. Like Watch the Throne, nah, okay, but like Jesus, nah, I'm not really too big on it. But one album that kind of disappointed me in the last 365 days. I'm gonna have to say Drake.
Man, it's funny that you're saying that because I was legitimately about to say the same thing.
I,
That album was
I
garbage. I'm sorry. I'm gonna go ahead and start it
it
because I'm
was
telling you that album. I'll tell you exactly where I turned it off the first time. I don't even know what song it.
okay.
I think it's called
Hit
"Girls
me.
Like Girls" or something like that.
Yeah, actually, if there's a song on the album that is worth listening to, I think it's that
Well,
one.
see, here's my biggest problem. Girls want girls. Here's my biggest problem with it. I didn't get like 30 seconds of the song the first time because he said something along the lines of "Oh girl, you like or like oh girl, you a lesbian? Oh, me too." And I just turned it off. I was like, "No, I can't. No, this is because that means it's one of two things. It means either A, Drake has been a girl this entire time, which, whatever, it is what it is. Or he might, be trying to figure that out because I don't understand how you could be a lesbian as a guy, but whatever. Or B, Drake has a fundamental middle school understanding of sexuality, which I don't know which one's worse, to be honest with you.
He played a middle schooler the first half of his career.
Yeah, I don't think that mean. I mean,
So
I've
I,
taught high
I
school. It doesn't mean
mean,
I act like a high schooler.
but if there's one thing Drake should know, that's middle school, right?
I mean,
You
I
know?
I never really thought about it that way. I'm not gonna lie to you. That one's a little okay. All right. I mean, I still think that the project's like overrated, overhyped.
Yeah, I'm gonna say 4 out of 10 because I try to give everything a chance. So
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
I'll pretty much listen to anything. But way too sexy. What the hell
See,
was that?
I
What the hell
okay.
was
So
that?
I've been going out a lot more. So I've been in like scenarios in which like playing way too sexy actually makes sense. When you play it in the right setting, it's not too bad. Now,
What's the right setting?
like a club, like a bar, like just having a drink, do anything, all that, like that would be the setting for way too sexy. Outside of that, eh, not so much.
Okay, I give you that. But yeah, overall, Certified Lover Boy, ladies and gentlemen, is stamped trash. You heard it here first on But Peep This,
Something
the
something
podcast.
we will not peep ourselves. Something we will not tell you to peep.
We do not peep. We do not peep Drake's
Do
new
not peep
album.
the album. However,
So,
you know what album that I do peep that came out around the same time? Donda.
what was
I thought
that?
Donda was great. I didn't think it was
Oh, okay.
incredible, but I thought it was good. I thought it was great.
Okay. I'm gonna give you a take here too because we speak our minds here at But Peep This, the podcast.
Absolutely.
Am I right?
All the time.
Thunder was just as bad as Drake's album. They're both overrated as
Okay.
hell.
Go ahead, speak your piece.
I'm gonna say Jail Part 2 is probably the best song on Donda. Oh, I mean the one. Wait, I'm sorry. Yeah. I'm sticking with that. That's the hill I'm gonna die on.
Well, let me pull up the track
Jail
list.
Part 2. Jail Part 2 was probably the song I would have picked as the single off of that album. I mean, it was to have us wait that long for a Kanye album for it to be, you know, this. I'm Sean, you gotta understand. I've been listening to hip hop for a long
You have been
time.
listening
I
to hip hop for a
remember
long time.
I remember when Kanye came out with Through the Wire, Jesus Walks. When he released an album in 2007 when he was beefing with 50 Cent and Graduation, I'm sorry. When Can't Tell Me
Yeah.
Nothing, like we waited. Him and 50 did this thing for a couple months, 106 in Park. I'm not sure if that was, that's before your time, Sean, even though you're older than me. But, you know, when you look at an album, Graduation, you got Champion, Stronger, Good Life, Can't Tell Me Nothing, Flashing Lights, Homecoming. Like, that's one
There's
album.
one album.
And then you give us Thunder. We're not even gonna talk about the albums in between. Life of Pablo. Like, we're not even gonna
Why
talk
not?
about that.
Why are we not going to talk about Life of Pablo?
Because name two songs from Life of
Like off
Pablo.
the top of my head? Oh, like off the top of my
Off the
head?
top of your head. That's not don't name Father I
Oh,
Stretch My
easy,
Hands.
because Life of Pablo is my favorite Kanye album. So I don't know. This is
Oh,
easy. No More Parties in LA, fantastic. Um, Low Lights, also fantastic. FML, wonderful. Wolves, kind of slow, but still pretty good.
John,
What?
I, I
Why?
gotta stop you. Okay, wait. It's your favorite album, or do you think it's
No, it
Kanye's
is.
best
It is
album?
my
Let
personal
me get
favorite
this.
album. My
Your
personal favorite album.
personal favorite. Okay,
Yeah, 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 yeah,
never
yeah.
mind.
If we're talking about what I think Kanye's best album is, now that one is going to be, I think, controversial as well, because people are going to be very confused about what I say. But you know what?
Okay.
This is the But Peep This podcast, so I'm gonna go ahead and say it. Um, I think Kanye's best album is a tie between Ye and Late Registration. A tie,
Tie?
absolutely,
A
absolutely,
tie I can agree with. I can agree
absolutely.
with a tie.
Ye,
But Yay, the 2018 album,
absolutely.
Yay? And you're telling me that Yay, I disagree with the albums that you
Okay.
picked.
I,
Because personally, I think it's a three-way tie between Graduation, Late Registration, and 808s and Heartbreaks. Those are the second, third, and fourth album he released. And I honestly, if I had to pick two, it'd probably be Graduations and Late Registration. But there is no album out today that Kanye made that's beaten 2007
see
Kanye.
here, I don't know, because here's my thing with Graduation. I think Graduation was fantastic. I think Graduation at the point that it came out was incredible. You had the whole stadium atmosphere that went with it. The fact that he was selling out those stadiums to be able to perform, the level of production that he achieved on there, the features that he got on there, the way he was able to do the voices and everything like that, all fantastic. I don't think it's aged as well as it should have.
What are you talking? How?
So, and this is something I've thought about for a while because for those of you who don't know, and you're going to learn as you continue to listen to our podcast, I love Kanye's music. Now, I have to say because I used to be able to say I love Kanye. However, Kanye's losing his mind right now.
His
He is
damn
out of his
mind.
mind.
His
And let's
rabbit
just
ass
clear this up
mind.
currently. He is wrong in 99% of what he's doing currently. And he
Okay.
I think he
Yeah, agreed.
110% should be held accountable for that. However, I don't think there's any way to be able to sit there and go, this man does not make incredible music. Because he does. I mean, that's just his gift in life. He makes incredible music.
He
So,
does.
with
He,
that
he,
being said,
the only man I know. The only man I know, Sean, who could walk up to a piano and hit one key, and the whole crowd
Goes wild.
goes wild.
It was
One
absolutely
key.
wild for that absolutely incredible song. But you know, it's funny that you bring up that album because this is actually where I'm going currently. And I challenge anybody who's listening to do
Okay.
this. I want you to go back and listen to 2007 Graduation and 2010 My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. And you tell me which one stands the test of time. You tell me which one actually sounds like it is not dated. It doesn't sound like there is a time period attached to it. Because I think the reason why I like late registration so much is because I don't think there's a time period attached to it. I think Kanye could make late registration now, even though he wouldn't, but he could make late registration now and it would be okay with the time. I think Kanye could release Ye currently, obviously, because he did 4 years ago, and it would fit in with what's going on currently. I think if you take graduation in 2007 and you put it now, I I don't think it stands up as well as what we would hope it would. Not to say that it's a bad album, I just don't think it's aged as well as what has been there.
Ladies and gentlemen, I must apologize for my friend Sean here, because he apparently was under a rock in 2007, 2008, 2009,
Yeah.
2010. Actually, 2005 and
I mean,
2006
look,
as well.
let's just be honest here.
Um,
In those years, I was
what,
listening to
what,
country music. Let's just call it what it is, all right?
Sean, I'm gonna stop you right. Okay, I'm gonna take one
One.
song. All right, let's go. Where you want me to start? Which
I
pick an
mean,
album? My
we're on
dark
graduation right now. Start with
graduation. All right, let's
graduation.
go. Let's go. Okay, let's go. Graduation. Um, Good Life.
Okay,
You got T
correct.
Pain on Good Life. I don't know if I would sing a little bit of the song, but I don't want it to get taken down for copyright. But um, you got T Pain on that song. That's a hit. Can't Tell Me Nothing was originally Jeezy's song. Correct me if I'm wrong, but he wanted Kanye to get on it, and Kanye couldn't meet the deadline, so he let Kanye have the song. So when you're listening to "Can't Tell Me Nothing," ladies and gentlemen, and you hear that "ha ha" in the hook, that is Jeezy. That song, that song alone, you could put it up against any song on any album after My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, and it will hold its weight. Um, Flashing Lights, come on, Homecoming, Homecoming with Chris Martin. You got Kanye and you got Coldplay talking about Chicago.
You know,
You're telling me that Lupe on Touch the Sky, Adam Maroon 5 and Kanye West today. I don't know, Sean. I
I,
don't see it. I think you can play all of these songs today on the radio and you'll get the same effect.
I'm a but see, like you named, the big songs off the album, which I get that. Good Morning. I used to listen to Good Morning every morning when I woke up because I needed motivation back in the day when I was in college. Because sometimes you do what you got to do. Um,
Funny thing, Good Morning is actually my alarm
yeah, I think
right now. I go between Good Morning and Get Paid by Young Dolph. They
there
alternate
was
days.
another Good
Uh,
Morning song that I used to use. It was a J Cole song. I think it's off of Born Sinner. Let me
uh,
see. I have my phone pulled up currently, going through my albums. I don't
I,
remember what it was.
Sean, Sean, you got me. I'm on flummoxed
Flummox,
over here.
flummox,
Dude, I just went back
flummoxed.
and looked at College Dropout, and I'm looking at the features he had on this one.
Oh,
Uh,
which one? College Dropout?
look, yeah, look,
Slow
slow
jams is great.
jams.
I've been listening to slow jams like crazy
Like,
recently.
come on, Sean, Sean. You cannot tell me that pre like 2000s Kanye was prime Kanye. Now, I'm not saying that Kanye hasn't made some smash hits after 2010, but the first half of this century versus now, there is there is no comparison,
Well,
Sean.
see, here's the thing though. So like the first half of the century that he was doing his thing, and it wouldn't be the century. Would it be the century? I don't know where we're at. But yeah, first half of wherever we're talking about. Um, yeah, he was doing his thing, and he was breaking molds, and like 808s and Heartbreaks, of course, was like big on the auto tune, and My Beautiful Dark Twisted
Oh yeah.
Fantasy. I cannot wait for the Kanye documentary series that they have currently to go over My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, because I've heard stories about My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy being created, and I am so excited to be able to see that process come together, like the suits and the Hawaii experience and the people that were there and all the stuff that people talk about. I've watched so many interviews on it, fantastic. However, 2004, Kanye was proving himself that he could rap. 2005, he was proving that it wasn't a fluke. 2007, he was proving that he could be a top person. 2008, he was very sad. 2010, it was after they tried to take his career away from him, which we'll come back to in a little bit, or maybe not. We might come back to it in a different episode. 2011, he's with Jay-Z, and they're showing how they're still the best in the game. From 2013 on, well, let me rephrase that. From 2013 to 2019, it is Kanye not only putting out solid music like he had, but doing things that are genre breaking. Jesus, genre breaking. Was it the only thing doing that during that time? No. But to do it on the level that he was doing it, as in like the notoriety that came with it, there nothing like it. Like absolutely nothing like it. Life of Pablo, again, going through the whole leak scenario, going through the fact that the album was remade over and over and over again. But the beginning of the gospel type of feel, the very simplistic Yay and Kids See Ghost, where they pretty much just toned down all of the overproduction and just stuck with what was there. And then Jesus is King, the full entering into the gospel territory. The thing is that yes, the first half may have had, songs and productions and everything like that that are, really with the times and setting the tone for what's moving forward. But in my opinion, from 2013 on, every time he puts out something, it's like, okay, what is he gonna do next? What's he gonna do next? I don't know what he's gonna do next. Like I didn't expect. I mean, and this is what I told. I have conversations with my students about music a lot. It's one of the things I'm a mess when it comes to being a teacher. But I told them when I saw both of these people were dropping Drake and Kanye at the same time. I said I can already tell you what Drake's album's going to sound like, but I don't know what Kanye's album's going to sound like. And off that alone, that's going to make his album better than Drake's. But I think that speaks to how Kanye is as an artist.
Mm, Sean, okay, so first let me go back. Let's rewind.
Bringing it back.
Yeezus was, you said, genre
Absolutely.
breaking. Um, there wasn't one song on this album that I heard on a hip hop station.
That that but that
Not
is
one.
genre breaking because you're saying the hip hop station. It was bigger than a hip hop album. There was experimental in there. There was industrial in there. Things that typically people don't use on a stage. That's there. See, that's my thing about Kanye. Kanye
I,
might not.
I get
Kanye might
that.
not be doing things the best because I promise you, I could find you an album that's similar to Yeezus. It's called The Money Store, by Death Grips, which we'll talk about in a little bit when we talk about like our favorite projects, because I think that's on our list of things. Um, but yeah, incredibly experimental, incredibly industrial. And it wasn't on the big stage, but Kanye took that sound and put it on the big stage. You see what I'm saying?
Okay, so what is so your definition of genre breaking is what?
Things that go, excuse me, things that go outside of what the genre is currently presenting as popular.
But does that include the genre that you're currently in?
Um,
Yeah, see.
yeah,
Think about that before you answer it, Shaw.
it's a tough one. I don't know, because like the thing is that like we got to be careful when we start pigeonholing these artists into putting them into specific boxes and saying this is what you make. Um, not to go back to this, but again, I said that like in the early 2000s, I listened to country music. That was like when Taylor Swift made the jump from country music to pop music. Everybody looked at Taylor Swift as like a country artist, but she had to put out multiple different tracks before people were like, "Oh, okay, she's a pop artist now."
Okay, but she Taylor Swift was still played on the country stations.
For a while until she made that full transition.
Okay, so when did Kanye make his full transition, or has he? Because I still haven't heard a Kanye song on a hip hop station, at least not in Indianapolis.
I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. I haven't turned on a hip hop station in I don't know how long. I listen to
I,
my my uh my app music and things of that nature.
you gotta do your research, Sean.
I'll tell you what. Next time we talk, we'll have a conversation about radio because I don't have a lot of
Okay, I
information
tell
there.
you what,
But
people, ladies and gentlemen, I challenge you guys to listen to an hour of radio. Not XM, not Pandora, not Apple Music, not iHeartRadio. Like, turn on the radio in your car. You do have one of those. And listen to the local station for an hour. See what they're playing. And I can tell you, Sean, it is not Kanye. It is actually Drake. A lot of Drake, a lot of Lil Baby, a lot
yeah, I
of
was about to say
Gunna.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't really want to listen to an hour of Drake, Lil Baby, and Gunna. That's not.
No,
I
I
mean,
challenge
I'm
I
gonna do
challenge
it.
you, so you
I'm
gotta
gonna
do it.
do it. But I'm not. I'm gonna have a lot to say next time we sit down and talk.
That's fine. That's fine. We're gonna have to we're gonna have to agree to disagree on
Yeah,
Kanye because
yeah.
I don't I take the Pepsi challenge with graduation versus anything after graduation. So, but I'm biased because I grew up listening to
And I'm not
Kanye.
gonna lie
So,
to you. I did not really start to really appreciate Kanye until The Life of Pablo came out. So you know.
and I think you missed Kanye where you started.
I mean,
You
Kanye was
know,
still around. I mean, it's not like Kanye. It's not like saying
yeah.
like I just totally missed the boat on Kanye. I mean, it was impossible to
But
miss Kanye.
you
It was
kind of
impossible
did.
to miss
You
Kanye.
kind of you kind of missed the train on Kanye because you picked up Life of Pablo, but you missed what made Kanye Kanye.
I mean, but I could go back. See,
You know,
I have
you
this
should.
conversation with old heads all the time. So I'm gonna pull a page out of Sway book. Let me talk to all you
So
old
I'm an
heads
old
out
head
there.
now.
No, I'm not saying you're an old head, but let me talk to all you whack ass old heads out there. Right? It is totally okay for a person to go back and gain appreciation for what had existed currently without living through the time. Can I sit there and say that I understand how popular Ja Rule was prior to the 50 Cent beef? No. But what I can do is go back and listen to the music and say, I understand with context why this could have been popular. I understand with the music and the time period being involved. See, it's just about doing your research and understanding things. Not everybody has to be around for things to be appreciated because as I told somebody recently, what are we supposed to do? Just leave what was in the past and not go back and gain appreciation for it? Because what that means is that everybody's just leaving behind and nothing's ever being brought forward. So that means all that music that everybody stands there, all you whack ass old heads stand there and defend will disappear. Now again, I'm not calling you an old head, Lionel. I mean, we can have that conversation at a later date. But, you know, there's got to be a point where we can go back and say, yeah, maybe I didn't start listening to Kanye West seriously until 2013. However, I've listened to everything Kanye's ever put out since then. And yeah, I feel like I get it. I feel like I get it. But hey, I might be wrong. Who knows?
I think you will be wrong, but me and the we'll all wait. We'll all wait for you to come back next time and say, you know what, Lionel, I was wrong. And I hope we can get some applause, and after that, we'll deal with the soundboards and stuff later on. But yeah, I'm looking forward to you coming back and saying, yeah, Lionel, I was wrong. 2010 down was Kanye's best music. I look forward to hearing that come out of your mouth. But moving on, Sean,
What you got?
what's your favorite album all time? Let's go. I'm gonna give you two hip hop and two non hip hop. I see. I've been waiting to ask you this for actually a couple years. So
Two hip hop and two non hip hop.
two
Oh
non hip hop.
God. All right. R&B doesn't count as hip hop, does it?
R&B does
Okay,
not
I'm
count as
I'm
hip
gonna
hop.
cut that out just so you know. That is not making it in the final cut of this episode.
Ladies and gentlemen, Sean thinks hip hop and R&B is the same genre. Tomato, tomato, tomato. You get them.
Yeah, that's not making it in. Oh man. Okay. Um. Now you're asking me for my favorite, like personally.
Yeah,
Okay.
your
My
personal.
my personal favorites. Now they change. So when we're doing this podcast in a year from now, you might ask me the same question, and I might have a different answer for you. But
Agreed.
as it
Noted.
stands currently, my two favorite hip hop albums are going to be. Oh God, that's tough. Look at their must. I'm
It's
looking
not
through
that
my
tough.
stuff currently.
It's
It
it's
so I
it's
can
not that
narrow
tough.
it down
You're
to
making
like a
it tough.
couple of different things, but it's choosing the two that I want to go with. So I would say, um,
You want me to go first?
yeah, go ahead, go first.
Okay. So, coming in at number two on my favorite hip hop albums of all time is 50 Cent's Get Rich or Die Trying.
Really?
Now, yeah.
Okay.
So my mom, I don't know if my mom will be listening to this podcast. Hey mom, I love you if you are. Um, she didn't play that listening to that rap music with all that cussing in it. So my sister Kim, shout out to my big sister Kim, um, had this radio. Kim is like 6 years older than me now, so she was in high school and I wasn't. I was in elementary school, so she was able to get these, mixed CDs because this was a little bit before, this was like early 2000s, and she got a hold to a 50 Cent CD, and we wore that CD out from the beginning to the end. And then the movie came out. Oh my god. 50 Cent Get Rich or Die Trying is my second favorite hip hop album of all time. And let me get close to the mic, Sean. Can I get
By all
close to the
means.
mic? To all the old heads out there, I'm 26 years old. All right. I am 26. You got that? My favorite hip hop album of all time is Good Kid Mad City. Not even a question.
I'm not
Um,
surprised by that one at all. I honestly should have known
and
that, to be honest with you.
and this came out my senior year, and funny story, Sean. I actually heard Good Kid, Mad City before I even heard like Section 80.
Okay.
So when I heard ADHD, I thought it was new,
Mm,
but it was like 3 or 4 years old. So this came out in 2012. That was a period of my life where I had just gotten an iPod, Sean. Like I had found it and I had figured out how to use it. So, you know,
weren't those the
that
days?
album, oh yeah. We had to plug it into the iTunes, and then, I knew how to get free music, so I'm not gonna incriminate myself. I plead the fifth. Um, so it was that album I had, Two Chains, based on a true story, which we'll get to in another. That's an actual and honorable mention. I think that'll be number three.
Okay, okay.
Um, would have been number three if we did top three. So, Good Kid, Mad City was my senior year. It's a real transitional period because I knew I wanted to leave small town Mary and just didn't know how to do it. So college, and yeah, man, I listened to that. I listened to that album for about a year straight. I remember when you first heard the album, I was already like singing the album word for word. That's how late it's been for Sean to catch on to hip
That's
hop, guys.
look,
We were
we
in
will have a
college.
whole episode dedicated to my music journey because I have not bragging or anything, but I have a very diverse music taste because of how many different genres I just fully immerse myself in because I have ADHD really bad.
We know your music taste isn't all that,
Never said that.
but anyway, anyway. So number two, non hip hop album of all time. I gotta go with Michael Jackson's Thriller.
So
Now,
basic.
anyway, so
Man,
my grandfather, Leroy Harris, Senior, rest in peace.
I'm about to feel bad.
Um, yeah, he gave me a radio when I was little, and it had one tape, Michael Jackson's Thriller, and we listened to Michael Jackson's Thriller. I mean, I still listen to it to this day. Like, Beat It, just the bass line on Beat It is enough, and it's just. I don't think there's any song on that album that I can skip. And this is gonna shock you, Sean. My number one favorite non hip hop album of all time is Coldplay's Viva La Vida.
You say that shocks me, but I remember when you got into Coldplay. Um,
I was into Coldplay well before I went to Spring Hill.
for those of you who don't know, that's the college we went to. We went to Spring Hill College. That's where we met. That's how long we've been friends. Um, okay, all right. I'm not gonna argue with you on that one. I'll let you have it.
And there's really no story behind it. I saw it, the video to Viva La Vida, like the song, listen to the entire album. I'll listen to anything Coldplay. Coldplay is like one of my favorite bands of all time.
Okay, okay.
So there, I took a little edge off of you, Sean. So now I'm waiting
Oh
on
boy.
those, waiting on that
All right,
list.
so I had to do a little bit of research on a couple of different like albums, so I make sure that I am abiding by the correct genres. Um, so I made a list a while back of my top 10 albums. Um, it took me. I did it. Well, I'm not gonna tell you the scenario in which I did it, but I did it one day. I didn't really have much to do, and so I sat down and I did it. So I'm looking at that list currently. So I'm going based off of that list. So when it comes to for my favorite hip hop album of all time, it's Trap Soul by Bryson Tiller. And
Is that number two
That's
or
number
number
one.
one?
Like, because that is my
Oh,
favorite album of all time. And I don't I don't really know why. I have a couple of ideas.
I mean, Sean, I actually, I agree. That's Trap Soul was a
Trap
banger,
Soul
man.
was incredible. Trap Soul was so
It
good.
was, it was
I think Bryson Tiller will always suffer from the Nas disease, where it's going to take him a while to really top his debut. Like,
make
yeah,
something better
because I'm
than
gonna be
that.
honest,
Yeah.
like Trap Soul, man, it is so good. I go back to it a lot, and what where I
It's highly
it's
slept
highly
on.
slept on. Like I remember the person who showed it to me, Cameron Powell. Shout out to Cam. Shout
Shout
out
out
Cam in
Cam.
Chicago. Talked to him a little bit ago. Uh, yeah, my first shout out of the podcast goes to Cam. Uh, but he showed me the album. He told me to listen to it, and I fell in love with it immediately. I thought the way it was like, not like it's a very complex story, because what it is hey, um, I like you like me, but you got other people, so screw them, be with me. And the story of that is not really complicated. But man, he's got an energy on there. You could tell it's real personal with him. He was 23 when he made it, I think, something like that. Like it's really good. And it's about 45 minutes long, which when I used to drive home from Spring Hill to Louisiana, I would play Trap Soul coming into Louisiana, because I know by the time that Trap Soul ended, I would almost be home. And so I think that's kind of where I started to really fall in love with the album, but I don't have a single skip on the album. The song that I think is the weakest on that album is the last song, which is Overtime. But even still, I'll still
Oh,
listen to it every so often. Like I'll still let it play. But it's, man, that album is so good. And
okay. Number two.
so number two, as I'm going down my list, the next two are my non uh my non-rap albums. So my third one is one that I actually introduced you to, Lionel. This is Yes Lord by No Worries. Oh man,
Oh,
I
okay.
have not
For-
been.
Ladies and gentlemen, one of the few albums Sean has introduced me to. One of the
This
few.
will be a trend that
Okay.
will happen. Lana will have a whole rant about it. I don't know if today's the day we do it, but this will come up a lot. But yes, Lord, I have not been so hype for an album to come out. And Lionel could speak to this because we were really good friends when this came out. And I had not been so hyped for an album to come out and then to not be disappointed at all by the release.
I I gotta stop you, Sean. Me and Sean are still really good friends. You know, that's my
Oh
guy.
yeah, I don't know why I phrased it that way. Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know why
my
you
bad,
did that.
my bad. Let me back that one up. Lionel and I were beginning to become really good friends when that album came out, because that was 2016. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
2015,
and that was when we
2016.
got really really close, because that was around the time that I had that Summer from Hell. Um, we don't have to go into that one. But when that album came out,
Please
that
God, no.
that first song came out, which was Suede. Mm, so good. It also introduced me in Anderson Paak, who has become one of my favorite and most beloved artists. Anderson Paak, on the off chance that you ever hear this, um,
Shout out Anderson
shout
Pack.
out Anderson Paak. Has not made bad music. Phenomenal.
We for years we were telling people, y'all got to check this Anderson
For
Pack guy out. He
years.
is nice, and everybody was like, "Who?
I'll
Anderson
tell you
Pack?"
what.
And look
And
at
when
him
when the
now.
Super Bowl played and Anderson Paak was playing the drums on top of the house, I yelled louder for Anderson Paak than I did anybody else on that stage. I
Yeah,
was like, "Oh, that's my
yeah.
boy!"
Shout out Anderson Paak. If you're ever listening to this, dude, we need a
Yeah, for
track,
real.
opening track for
Dude, just
this, yo. Anderson Paak, man, hit
just
me
play
up,
some
man.
drums and smile, man. That's just
Yeah, we'll take it. We'll take
honestly.
it.
But yeah, yes, Lord. It's long. I feel like that's the only bit of critique I have of it. It's really long, but oh, it's so good. Oh, it's just so good. I listened to that Boiler Room set that they did in Russia for months before the album came out. To the point where I was going to Lionel and being like, "Yo, I like when the album came out, I was like, oh, this is this song here, and this is that song here, and this is that song here." I was so hyped for this album, and it did not disappoint. And it is incredible, absolutely incredible.
Okay, you owe me two non-hip hops.
Oh, two non hip hop. This is where so this is my second and third favorite album of all time. One of them I didn't start listening to until I actually came to Jacksonville. So that was in the past 3 years. So the story behind this one is that I am really, really into music. So I have done a lot to be able to learn about music because Lionel used to tell me all the time, hey, you don't really, you just kind of follow what other people say. So why don't you learn your own stuff? And I'm like, hell yeah, let's do it. So I started to learn my
Absolutely.
own stuff, and shout out Anthony Fantano. I watch his videos consistently, just not to get an opinion, but to see what he's looking at, what he's focusing on, to see how people evaluate music. I don't know if that's weird, but I still follow Anthony Fantano. Fantastic. Think he's hilarious. Think he's incredibly talented. Shout out Anthony Fantano. Um, and he would bring up when people talk about like top albums, this album called The Money Store and this band called Death Grips. And one day I was sitting there and I went, I'm going to listen to this album. Some days it's my favorite album of all time because it is so good. That like it just I I can't put into words how good this album is. It's so catchy. Like as I'm talking about it currently, I'm hearing like the catchy aspects of the album in my head. It's so catchy. If you listen to it like once, you will and everybody who I've shown it to, who I've sat there and said, "Hey, listen to this," because I'll drive around in my car and listen to this. And for those of you who are listening who know who Death Grips is, you're probably sitting there being like, "How is he listening?" Just I listen to Death Grips doing a lot of things. Lionel does not listen to Death Grips. I mean, you good?
And yeah, I
Oh,
dropped
okay.
my phone. And for the 80% of the people listening who have no idea who the hell Death Grips is, you are not alone. If you have listened to Sean talk about Death Grips, you have no idea what it is. Call Ken Law Firm. You can cut that out.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, is a law firm a real thing? Okay,
Getting
okay,
yeah.
all right.
I should have said Alexander
Yeah.
Shannara.
Oh man. No, but
Okay, so you got Death
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 Grips,
Grip.
the money store. Just fantastic. I can't speak highly of it enough. I'm not gonna spend all night on it. But honestly, Lionel, just give the album a listen. It's different than anything you've ever listened to, but I promise you, it's worth it. I promise you, it's worth it. You might sit there and be like, I don't know what's happening in the beginning. Just give it some time. You'll catch the vibe and you'll get the
All
energy.
right.
It's phenomenal.
All right.
And then number two is a lot easier to explain because a lot of people who are listening to this should be should know this album and know who it is and know why I love it so much. But that's Control by SZA. Just an incredible album. I did listen to that album during my summer of hell, and man, I fell in love with that album big time. Um, Yeah, it's good. It's good. Have you listened to Control, Lionel?
Overrated.
Don't break my heart. Nah, that album's incredible. That album is incredible. There's no skips on that
That's how
album.
that's how I felt when you said Kanye's best music was
Well, I
Afterlife of
mean, we were
Pablo.
never gonna agree on
But
Kanye. I mean, that was never gonna happen.
no,
But
no. I mean I know why you love the album, but me personally, I just can't get down with
no,
it.
I mean, I get, but yeah, no, Control's phenomenal. Sis is great. Storytelling's great. Um, I just, man, it just, yeah,
Okay,
just
Sean.
great.
Real quick before we move on to sports, what song do you listen to by yourself without anybody knowing, and you wouldn't ever admit to listening to it, except on But Peep This the podcast?
And I was listening to my old country music the other day. um, so I'll give you a song off of that, and then I'll move on. Man, scrolling down,
while
scrolling
while you
down.
scrolling, I'll go ahead and give one. It's Paparazzi by Lady
Oh, dude,
Gaga.
that's a great song. That's a great
There
song.
will be no Lady Gaga slander on this
Never,
channel.
never,
None.
never. No.
Oh, and there's Around the World by Lisa Stanfield. All the old heads out there, y'all know that
Yeah.
song.
Yeah, mine would be Amarillo by Morning, by George Strait. That song is absolutely incredible. Um, and then another song I listen to by myself a lot that I feel like has the same type of feel as Amarillo by Morning by George Strait is Melancholy Hill by the Gorillaz. In my opinion,
You,
one of the most beautiful songs ever written. However,
there's one person in this world, Sean, who has had the pleasure of having to experience both of our music tastes, and that's Jennifer
that is
Frederick.
Jennifer.
Shout out,
Shout
Jen.
out Jen.
If you're listening, Jen, we're sorry. We're never going to stop making you listen to our
Yeah,
BS
honestly,
music.
it's
Never.
it's gonna
It's,
continue to
it's going to
happen.
be you.
It's gonna continue to happen.
All right, Sean. You can segue into sports if you want, because I segue
Yeah,
into
so
music.
and I mean, I don't think there's really anything to segue into. Let's just get talking about it.
Well, I mean, you can.
So for those of you who don't know, um, Lionel and I play in a fantasy football league together, where last season I was champion. Just want to throw that one out there. Um,
Took them 6 years to do
I
it.
wouldn't say that, but whatever. But I was champion.
You don't have to say it. The numbers don't lie. It took you 6 years to do
Anyway,
it.
so we are huge into football. And so, Lionel, I'm going to ask you this question. What
Yeah.
team do you think is overrated right now? Right
Right
now.
now. Right now. Ooh. The most overrated team right now. Well, it's a
Okay.
tie between the Dallas Cowboys, simply because of the whole America's team. Who I don't know who the fuck told them that they were America's team. Uh, the last time the Cowboys won a Super Bowl, I don't think either one of
I
us
think
were
that was
alive.
1994, if I'm not mistaken. So, yeah, I don't think, yeah.
Right. So, you're not
No,
America's team.
not anymore.
You're overrated. You're probably not going to win the ship as long as Jerry Jones is running the show in
Although,
Dallas.
let's continue to
Um,
praise Dak Prescott because Dak Prescott's great.
yeah,
We love,
that shout out
shout out
Dak
Dak Prescott.
Prescott. Shout out Mari Cooper. Shout
Well,
out
Mark
CD
Cooper isn't there
Lamb.
anymore.
Shout out Zeke.
Mark Cooper's not there anymore.
I know that's why I shouted him out. And I think the most overrated team in the NFL is going to be Tampa Bay.
I don't understand how we continue to have the same answers. I have a different
I,
second one, but yeah, Tampa Bay is my number one.
I
Tampa Bay is my
Tampa
number one.
Bay. I mean, like you got Tom
Correct.
Brady. You got the best. I don't care who you are. Tom Brady's the best quarterback of all
Agreed.
time.
Easily.
Period.
Easily. It's not
Period.
even close.
There's nobody who's
It's not even
ever
close.
touched the NFL field at quarterback that is better than Tom
Honestly,
Brady.
it's not even close.
Okay? You got Tom Brady, and you are somehow still a mediocre team at the
Yeah.
same time. Like, you got Tom Brady, you got Gronk, and then this Gronk is a good tight end. But Gronk, just like Brady, needs to sit down.
Yeah, agreed.
It's like you got Mike Evans, who is arguably, I think, top 10 receivers in the league right now. Mike Evans. Shout out Mike Evans.
Shut up.
And it, you got Leonard Fournette, so you got the train, you got the speed on the outside, you got Antonio Brown, whatever happens with that. I mean, you got Tom Brady. Why are you not back to back champs right now?
Honestly, I think they have the star power, but kind of like we saw with the Cleveland Browns over the past couple of years, star power only gets you so far. And I think Bruce Arians is a great coach, and I think they're losing a great coach. And not that I think that Todd Bowles is going to do horrible, but I think there is a trend right now of offensive coaches doing better than defensive coaches. And you had an opportunity to put in Byron Leftwich, and you didn't.
And, the fact that Byron Leftwich is not a head coach right now in the NFL.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
yeah.
come on,
I'm not. I don't
come
get
on.
it either. I think from what is being said, from what I've heard, and obviously these are not my own sources. I get my information from other places before people try to come in and be like, "How does he have the information?" I don't. I don't have that information. But from what I've heard and what I've read, apparently Byron Leftwich and Tom Brady work really, really close together. So whenever Tom Brady does eventually leave, I think that's when Byron will also leave. And I think that leaves
Okay,
Todd
if
Bowles.
Tom Brady is the franchise right now at Tampa Bay,
Correct.
yes. So you want Byron Leftwich to make Tom Brady happy,
Correct.
yes. Make him the goddamn
I
head
mean,
coach.
I think it's that simple. I also saw something that was like, if you make him the head coach, then he can't sit down and plan with Brady like he did last year. I did
Why can't he?
because he's got other places on the field to attend to.
You got
I
other
mean,
coaches.
I agree. Listen, I'm just telling you what I heard. I'm not saying I agree or disagree. I mean, if you want my personal opinion, I think if you want to win, you give Byron Leftwich the job. I understand Bruce Arians and Todd Bowles are good friends. I think it's great that Todd Bowles got the job, in a league where not a lot of minority head coaches. Here we are. It's a great moment. But I don't know if it was your strongest
He
hire.
we're in the NFL where Mike McCarthy is head coach.
We're in the NFL where Josh McCown almost became a head coach.
And Byron Leftwich is still an assistant.
And this one might ruffle some feathers. But Brian Flores is a linebackers coach.
You know, y'all better be lucky Nick Saban not looking for a coach right now.
Look,
I'm gonna leave it at that.
yeah,
But Tampa Bay, you're overrated. You heard it here on But Peep This, the
yeah,
podcast.
absolutely. And then my other team that I think is overrated, which I don't think is that difficult to be able to figure out, but that'd be Green Bay. Green Bay. Yeah. Yeah. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is a sigh of an individual who a couple of weeks ago put his foot in his mouth. And now we haven't addressed it. We don't have to address it tonight, but
No, let's address it.
you want to
Let's
address
address
it?
it.
Cool.
Yeah,
So
let's
I
address it.
I I don't. I mean, I could pull receipts, but we can do that later. Um, when the Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams stuff originally started to happen, I had told Lionel, um, "Hey, you need to get rid of Aaron Rodgers off your fantasy team because he's not going to have the year you think he's going to have." And Lionel, you want to tell the people what you said?
Uh, yeah. First of all, I'm not gonna get rid of Aaron Rodgers for anything less than elite, and I think Aaron Rodgers is gonna have another MVP caliber season this year. Not saying he's gonna win MVP, but I think that Aaron Rodgers is gonna produce this year,
And
big
I
time.
told Lionel, how is he gonna do that when he doesn't have Devontae Adams? In which Lionel said,
You got other receivers on the
"No,
field.
that's not what you said.
Well, tell me what I
What you
said, Sean.
said was Devontae Adams is still on the team and he hasn't left yet." In which I said, Aaron Rodgers just signed that big contract. They're not going to be able to pay Devontae Adams. In which you said,
I thought they were gonna pay Aaron. Okay, I see where you're going. Yeah, I thought Green Bay was gonna keep Devontae Adams. That didn't
did not
happen.
happen at all.
Shout out to Devontae
Shout out to
Adams.
Devontae Adams, about to have
Um,
an incredible year. Hey, listeners, Sean here. As I'm going through and editing, I realized that part of the audio from this segment that we're talking about right now got edited out. So just so you know, we went from talking about Devontae Adams to Lionel's fantasy team, just for some context. Enjoy the rest of the show.
Everybody's always up for sale in fantasy, unless you have Patrick Mahomes, Christian McCaffrey, Dalvin Cook,
Here we go.
Najee
Here we go.
Harris, DJ Moore,
Yeah, right. Okay.
Saquon when he's healthy, you know, Justin Justin Herbert, you know, George Kittle, just those guys. I'm gonna do what I do this year. Will Aaron Rodgers probably get traded? I don't know. Depends on who makes me an offer. I'm like I'm like the edge of
Oh boy.
fantasy. I'm the ultimate opportunist. And people are afraid to trade with me because they don't know if they're falling into a trap or what. And it's I'm Sean won the ship, but I'm the man to beat. And as far as Aaron Rodgers goes, we're
Yeah,
gonna revisit
yeah,
this one,
I agree.
Sean,
We
mid-season.
definitely revisit this one
Okay.
mid-season. We'll also, when you get frustrated with the trading situation in the league, I'll give you a whole segment where you can rant about your your lack of being able to trade for what you want.
Hey, on the off chance that my uncle is up listening to this
Leroy.
podcast, shout out Leroy
Unk.
Harris. Um, you you can get Aaron Rodgers right now, but you're gonna have to give up some. I'm letting you know right now. I know you want him, but you got to come up off something, and I think it's gonna be Lamar Jackson. So I'll let you sit on that, and we'll get to that, Sean. We'll get to my uncle and trying to get him to trade. If I can also get Derrick Henry, I'll make some moves for Derrick Henry this season. I almost had him
Yeah,
last
that
year if
wasn't gonna
Sean
happen.
had kept his mouth shut. But yeah, Sean is a
That's
hater, ladies and gentlemen.
that's gonna be a running theme throughout this. Is that I apparently am a hater.
Sean is a hater. I'm gonna make that a segment. Sean is a hater, and I'm gonna bring up situations where Sean has done everything in his power to hate on me. So I got enough to go
Oh boy,
all the way into
here we go.
midseason, guys.
All
So
right, and then
stay tuned.
so we talked about the overrated team. Let's talk about who your Super Bowl pick is. I got mine. Mine's easy. I got Buffalo. I got Buffalo. Josh Allen, Von Miller, Stephon Diggs with his nice but not terribly nice contract. Devin Singletary that's going to have a much better year than he had last year. Zach Moss, I don't know what's going on with him. Decent offensive line, pretty good defensive line. Man, they got everything up in Buffalo, and I honestly think that this is going to be their year.
Who are they beating to win the Super Bowl?
Oh boy, NFC. Um, is it bad to say that I think the Rams are going to make it again? Because honestly, I look around at the
Hmm.
NFC and it's like there's not really a lot of teams that really can make a run like that. I think the Rams are one of them, though. It's not gonna be Green Bay. They can't make it past the NFC Championship. They can't make it to the NFC Championship in that case. Um, it's not gonna be it's not gonna be Tampa. They're gonna be too old and too tired by the time it gets there. So I mean, think about like the NFC teams from last year. I mean, I think the Vikings are gonna win the division. So I think that they have a chance. I mean, is Indy in the NFC? No, Indy's in AFC. Indy's AFC.
India's
Yeah.
AFC South.
So yeah, I'm gonna say Rams, Bills, and I'm gonna go with the Bills in that one. You got to be
Give
kidding
me
me.
New England.
Oh my god.
It's all about Mac 10, baby.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So New England and who?
Bel- Belichick plus
Oh
Mac
god.
10
Okay.
equals Super Bowl. Ladies and gentlemen, write that down. Belichick plus Mac 10 equals Super Bowl.
I know at least 50 people just
Devontae
turned off
Parker
the
helps.
podcast when they hear that. They heard that and then they went, "Oh god. Mac Jones for real? Come on."
I, I I gotta agree. I don't think. I mean, there are too many teams that are gonna come out of the NFC. I agree. Aaron Rodgers will have a great year, but I don't think he's winning the Super Bowl. Dallas can
Yeah, that's
can
not
kick rocks, kick two rocks. You know, I don't know. I mean, you gotta watch. Justin Fields out there. I don't know. Chicago
I'm
might make a
looking at a
little
list
noise
of
this
NFL
year.
teams right now just to see make sure I didn't miss anything.
You know. Oh, I'm sorry. Um, Carolina is a quarterback away
Ooh.
from making a
Okay.
lot of noise.
Yeah,
A lot of
quarterback is a
noise.
big problem right now. I mean, it's a major thing.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
I mean I got my Saints to win the
yeah.
division, so I don't know about that one, but
Who y'all going with? Jameis? Jameis
yeah.
gonna win a division for
Yeah,
you?
just like he won it in Tampa.
Jameis?
Yeah.
Jameis?
Yeah, Jameis. Over Mariota and Sam
Hey,
Darnold,
hey,
potentially
another
Cam
50
Newton.
people.
Come on, really?
Uh,
Listen,
another 50
listen.
people
I'm a
just
Saints
logged
fan
off.
through and through. Y'all ain't gonna take me out of that one.
uh, so you think Jameis Winston's gonna have a better season than Mac Jones?
Absolutely. I mean, given he stays healthy, and
All things
and
constant. All things
and
constant.
and given that the Saints get a good wide receiver to go alongside Michael Thomas, given he plays. Shout out Michael Thomas. Please play.
You
Please.
know what? I second that, Mike. I got you starting at wide receiver one this year.
Please.
So can you please
It's
play?
been like 2
Please,
years.
please,
Like,
please play, my please
you
play,
know, New
please.
Orleans wants you to play. But
Since since we begging Sean, Christian McCaffrey. Shout out to Christian McCaffrey. You need to sit down this off season. Like, don't go outside, shoot hoops. Like, don't take the trash out. Like, please stay healthy.
I'm looking at these teams right now. I think the Bills win the division. I don't want to talk about the AFC North. I really don't. I mean not
Ooh,
the AFC North, AFC South. Um, I think Indy wins their division.
Tennessee,
Uh, I think. See, people gonna hate me for this one, but I think the Broncos are gonna win their division.
Chargers,
Um, I think. I think the Commanders are gonna win their division.
Philadelphia.
That's a good pick. I don't mind the Philadelphia one. I think the Vikings are gonna win their division. I
Green Bay.
think the Saints are going to win their division, and I think the Rams are going to win their
Ta-
division. So like out of
Tampa wins the
that,
South. I agree. LA wins the West.
yeah. I mean, honestly, I think LA makes another run. They didn't really lose
If they
anything.
sign Odell, they make another run.
I think even if they don't sign Odell, they got Allen Robinson, which is going to be a very, very underrated
Allen
pickup.
Robinson ain't Odell.
He's not Odell, correct. I think in some aspects he might be better, but that's a different conversation
Ain't too
for
many
another
wide
day.
receivers out there better than Odell. But put
There's
a
not
pin in it.
there are not too many, but I do think Allen Robinson has a little bit
I
more
don't think Allen Robinson
consistency.
is one of them. But put a pin in it. We'll let the numbers do
Yeah,
the talking on that one.
that's fair. Um, yeah, no, I think those are my those are my NFL things going on. NFL's been pretty crazy right now. Actually,
Yeah.
I've actually really enjoyed it. I hope it continues.
Quick question: any of your students gonna listen to this podcast?
They told me they would,
Okay.
so we'll see.
All right. To all you students out here who are in Mr. Fan's class, yo, I need those embarrassing stories of Mr. Fan to my inbox. Listen, you're not gonna get in trouble. I won't tell you who the name. I won't share any names. Like I need those embarrassing stories from Mr. Fan to my inbox.
Oh
You
boy.
won't get in trouble. Actually, Fan will give you some extra credit.
Okay, wait, hold on. We're not promising extra credit
I'm
for anything.
promising. I'm
Let's
promising
not,
extra
let's
credit.
not do that.
If you're one of Mr. Fan's students, hit my inbox.
Oh my god. Yeah, I'd be curious. Honestly, yeah, do that because I'd be curious to see what y'all say is like my embarrassing moments in class. But yeah, we'll definitely see on that one.
I don't know. I don't know how many of our listeners on here are wrestling
Oh boy,
fans.
if you are not, this is the time to turn off the podcast because I
Yes.
am what my friends would call me a wrestling historian. So here we go.
He's like a quote unquote expert,
I would definitely
if you
categorize
would.
myself as that for
Or
sure when it comes to wrestling.
if you would. A turnbuckle connoisseur, if you
Turnbuckle
would.
connoisseur. Yeah, yeah. I might change my Twitter handle to that turnbuckle connoisseur.
Don't do that. Just leave it at Sean, whatever it is, at Sean. So, okay. I already know the answer to this question, but we just need to put it
Let's
on
do
the
it.
record. Who you rocking with, AEW or
AEW.
WWE?
That's honestly not even close for me. Honestly, um, AEW just. I mean, it's no secret that I'm a person who prefers things that are a little bit more fresh, and I watch WrestleMania. I watch any other AEW pay per view, and yeah, AEW is not perfect. They definitely, are less experienced than the WWE wrestlers. It's definitely less refined. But man, there's just something about it that just they just put their heart and soul into it, and I love it. I think they do a great job over there. My favorite wrestler, becoming my favorite wrestler of all time, um, wrestles for AEW. Shout out MJF. If he ever listens to this, he's gonna cuss me out. So it doesn't really matter. But MJF is absolutely phenomenal and one of the biggest reasons that I watch AEW because he's just so good. He's just good, just really good.
I'm gonna pick up my
Do you
microphone,
think?
Sean. So, um, the WWE is wrestling. I don't know what that AEW stuff
Vince
is.
McMahon will slap you in the
I
face if he heard you say that WWE was wrestling. I'm just throwing that out there.
I think in that South Park episode, where the gym coach was trying to teach, the kids how to
Yeah.
wrestle. That's not
Uh-huh.
wrestling.
Yeah,
That's what I think
exactly.
of. Okay. Sports
There you go.
entertainment.
Now you got it.
I watch I'm honest. I don't like AEW.
Okay.
I just I mean I've been watching it. I've given it a chance. I've watched 7 8 episodes in a row. I think the best best thing y'all got going is like the Hardy Boys or something like
But
that.
see, that's a very, like,
And then
WWE fandom answer. Keep that in mind. I
um
mean, like,
I
let's be
mean
real here. You
no,
know?
no, 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 no. I'm lying. I'm lying. Orange
Okay.
Cassidy is
Orange
fun to
Cassidy's
watch.
great.
He puts his hands in his pocket. That's
Orange Cassidy's
hilarious.
great.
Like
Dude,
you
hella
couldn't
over.
do that in WWE because like if you were wrestling a Randy Orton and you put your fucking hands in your pockets, you're done.
Well, I mean,
So
but that's the thing about Orange Cassidy. Like, Orange Cassidy puts his hands in his pockets, and everybody gets a good laugh at it. But I mean, really watch him when he puts his hands in his pockets. He's moving. He's moving, and he's grooving. He's doing a lot. He's solid. He's a solid worker. Solid worker.
I I just I like I'm a WWE guy. I think it's I want to watch it every week. I'm a big Monday Night Raw fan. I, contrary to popular belief, um, I don't really like Brock Lesnar though. I
Okay.
wish that the WWE had left him in the UFC because now you got this thing where we don't really have. The only thing I wish that the WWE would do better is make their champions fighting champions.
Okay. Okay.
You know, like Brock Lesnar held the title for was it 6 months since the Royal Rumble or something like
Something like
that,
that.
and he never fought a match on Monday Night Raw. I've never seen Brock Lesnar fight a match on Monday Night Raw since 20. When did he come back? 2012.
I mean, he's come back a few times at this
2012.
point. He's back currently.
When he Yeah, I know. He just lost the title to Roman Reigns, who was not
He did.
undisputed. Right. Shout out to Roman
Yeah,
Reigns.
I was about to say
Bro, Roman, look,
as I bring the microphone
Roman
closer,
Reigns is that guy.
Roman Reigns' head of the table character right now is one of the best things in wrestling that
I
exists.
I
It is
I love it.
absolutely incredible,
I love it.
and I still don't want it to end. That is
No.
all.
I I don't know how long they're gonna let this head of the table thing go, but I wish they'd give him until next WrestleMania.
I have an idea.
You know,
I even think I know who's going to
I
take it
think
from him.
I think it's gonna be The Rock.
I think it's going to be Cody.
I don't think it's gonna be Cody. I can't see Cody Rhodes getting in the ring and beating Roman Reigns, gimmick or not. I just don't see it. Cody does have a pretty good theme though. I like it.
That would
It's not gonna be long until the crowd starts
well,
singing
that
that.
was what they were doing in
So
AEW. So,
yeah,
but I mean,
well
I
it's
just want you to know
yeah.
this. Cody would not have come back to WWE without them promising him some sort of title run at some point. And they moved heaven and earth to try to get him from where he was. It's not like he was struggling in AEW. Like there was a little bit of a moment where he was struggling, but it's not like things were going bad. I don't know. I feel as though the introduction of Cody, the continuation of Roman Reigns, the kind of seeds of dissent that I start to see in between like the whole the family. I think it's all gonna end with Cody. I really do.
I I like the whole whole bloodline stable dude
Fantastic.
it's incredible.
Fantastic.
The bloodline stable is what the Hurt Business should have been. I don't know why they rushed it with Bobby Lashley, MVP, Shelton Benjamin, and Cedric Alexander, but there should be the Hurt Business
Yep.
on Raw and the Bloodline on SmackDown, and everybody else is just getting in line. But I can live with RK Bro. My favorite tag team though is the Street Profits. Oh, those
Yeah,
guys are
no,
just energetic. I love
Street
those
Profits
guys.
are great. They are they are fantastic. I think they definitely deserve a little bit more spotlight for sure. But that's tag team wrestling in the WWE. Um, but I'll tell
Yeah.
you my favorite tag team right now, Lucha Bros, AEW, Triple A, fantastic. My favorite match, well, like a top two favorite match I've ever seen was I gotta remember when it was. Let me look it up real quick. Give me 1 second.
Lucha
I'll edit
Bros.
this. Lucha Bros.
Is that like Sin Cara and what's his name?
I'm 100% editing this out. Um, no, no, not at all. Not even remotely
Who are the
close.
Lucha? Who are the
The
Lucha
Lucha
Bros?
Bros are Ray Fenix and Penta El Zero Miedo. Um, it was at AEW's what pay-per-view was that?
AEW has pay-per-views.
Yes, Lionel. AEW has pay-per-views.
Um, I didn't know that they could, afford to do that.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Was it Double or Nothing? Was it All Out? I don't remember which one it was, but when I tell you,
He's
I have yeah, it was All Out. It was the most recent All Out. When I tell you, if you have not watched this match and you know nothing about AEW, go watch this match. It is a tag team cage match for the titles. And you would think that these teams are fighting because someone told them, "Hey, if you don't go out there and win this match, we're gonna take you in the back and kill you." Like honestly, like they fight so hard to retain those titles, and I feel like that's one thing that WWE doesn't have that AEW has, is that those titles really mean something to those wrestlers. Like Roman Reigns, his like I wouldn't even say the title means a lot to him. The notoriety, the being at the top means more to him than that title. If you're holding a title in AEW, that that's everything to you. There is no like that is what you are there to do. And when you see these two teams that have fought numerous times, but when you see them fight, it it's it, it, it it's incredible. I mean, it was just one of the best matches I've ever seen, easily.
You're breaking my heart,
I
Sean.
mean, look, listen. I'm telling you, go find that match. Lucha Bros, Young Bucks, All Out 2021. Fantastic. I was in awe the entire match. And the way it ended, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Well, currently in the WWE, you have this young talent by the name of Damian Priest, who I think is gonna be pretty big here pretty soon. What is he about 6'5"? I want to say he's about
Yeah,
250.
I'm not
Give or take.
I like Damian Priest a lot.
I
I think
mean,
he's great.
I, now he's aligning with Edge, which I mean is like the ultimate heel. I mean, come on. I I think Edge is going to be the one to put him over, but your AEW, who you guys got there? AJ, not AJ Styles. AJ Styles is
I
in
don't
the
have AJ
WWE.
Styles. We got
Um,
John Moxley. We got
um,
Eddie Kingston. MJF, who
I don't even
is
know who that
the
is.
best wrestler in professional wrestling currently. Um, we have Chris Jericho. We got Hook. Hook is great. Um,
Who the hell is
Hook.
Hook?
Oh man, Hook is Taz's son, and Hook doesn't talk. But Hook, and he's also very inexperienced when it comes to wrestling. But Hook Oh man, Hook is Hook is incredible. I don't know what it is, but the fans love Hook. They love him. I'll have to send you some clips of Hook. Um,
Hook.
Hook, yeah, just Hook, like Captain Hook, like Hook. Um,
Hook.
you know, I will say, while one thing I will say is that I think WWE does have a better women's division. However, um, Jade Cargill, shout out to Jade Cargill, is probably going to be the best women's professional wrestler ever, and I'm going to stamp my name on that one. Just
Hmm.
yeah,
I'll
like
give you that. She is bad.
good lord. I mean, just
I'll give you that.
absolutely incredible. I mean, every match that I've seen her in is has just gotten better and better and better. Um, yeah, Jade Cargill's great.
No, I don't see anybody beating her anytime soon. So yeah, I'll I'll give you
Yeah,
that one. But yeah, the women's division in WWE is better, hands down. I wish. Where's Oscar? Somebody answer that for me.
I don't know where
Like
Asuka is.
Oscar. If you're listening to this, I don't speak Japanese, but where are you?
Just looked up where is
Like,
Asuka on
come back.
Google. Um, Asuka's been out of action since. See, this was February 22nd, so well, I don't know. But Asuka's been out of action since the 18th of July at Money in the Bank. She has an arm brace on. She says something in August. This is yeah, 20th February 2022. So we don't really know.
She's
Yeah,
injured.
she's injured. Yeah, we don't really know for sure what's going on. That was from inside the ropes.
Yeah, and I'm gonna tell you in the WWE, like in both divisions, who I'm just not very big on. In the women's division, Becky Lynch. I don't really like her.
Yeah.
Um,
It's not that I don't like her. I just think she's low overrated. I think there's better talent.
you, you're probably gonna hate me for this.
Go ahead.
In the men's division, I think it's a tie. We could do without Shinsuke Nakamura and Finn Balor. I just
So
they got cool entrances, but I've never been just like locked into a match that Finn Balor was in, or you
Well,
know,
so Shinsuke has been completely misutilized in WWE,
I
but
I agree.
Shinsuke also is a bit older, has kind of already had his career. This is definitely more of like a Twilight type of thing for him. You know, he seems happy. I let him enjoy his time. He doesn't have to be a serious wrestler. But Shinsuke back in the day, fantastic. Finn Balor, on the other hand, I don't know. I really enjoy Finn Balor. I think he's incredibly talented. And I think he's one of those guys where we're gonna look back on Finn Balor as he continues to. I kind of put him in the same category as like Sheamus. When you watch them while they're in wrestling, you're kind of like, I'd rather want to watch somebody else. But when you go back and you look at their history, they were always pretty solid. And Finn Balor is for sure really solid. I think the fans have a hard time getting behind him, but I mean, I definitely see what you're saying. I think he brings balance.
I,
You know,
hey, shout out to Sheamus. Sheamus came into the WWE whooping John Cena's ass.
listen,
Shout out to
my
Sheamus.
entire opinion on Sheamus has changed over the course of a couple of years. I have a lot of respect for Sheamus, and I think all people who are fans of wrestling should have a lot of respect for Sheamus because Sheamus was a lot better than what we gave him credit for, and
A
he was a
lot.
lot better than what we gave him credit for. Um, was he pushed maybe a little too early? Yeah, I would have rather have liked to see him in more of like a mid card type of role before getting that push. But why turn it down? You know, I'm not going to hate on him for that. But man, for what he did pretty solid. I ain't mad at him. I am not mad at him. Sheamus, shout out Sheamus, great, fantastic wrestler. You know, we're starting to reach the end of the podcast, first episode. Thank you all for joining us. Uh,
Appreciate y'all.
yeah, this is definitely something that we've wanted to do for like 2 years now. Um, man, I'm really excited that we even just did this. But what we're gonna end our episodes with, kind of a song that we want to leave you all with, that we think you should go listen to. So, Lionel, do you have yours?
Um, yeah. So, Sean says he listens to a lot of music, but I don't think Sean's touching my catalog.
Okay.
I listen to I'll switch genres in a second. So, this morning on my way to work, which is about I say about a 20-minute drive in good old Indianapolis. Shout out to the pothole on 38th Street that almost, ran me into the curb this morning.
The pothole.
The song I don't know why it's been in my head. It's been in my head for the past month. Careless Whisper by George Michael.
Oh my god.
It's been burning me up. I don't know
Oh, I love that
why.
song.
I have no reason, but that song comes on every single time I get into my
That
car.
song is incredible. I ain't mad at it. I am not mad at it at all.
Shout out to everybody who liked George Michaels. Rest in peace. Um, if you haven't heard this song, go listen. Go listen. And if I mean, maybe you'll like it too. We'll see if I'm still listening to this song next week though. I get tired of music pretty quick. So,
Yeah, and
Sean,
so so
what's been burning you
so
up?
the song that's been burning me up for a little bit is by a guy by the name of Action Bronson. Shout out Action Bronson. I've always been pretty big on Action Bronson. But he's got this song on, I think it's his most recent album. Let me double check that real quick. No, I don't think it is actually. Yeah, not. Oh yeah, no, it is his most recent. Yes, his most recent album called "Only for Dolphins." But the song is Latin Grammys. Latin Grammys is a fantastic song. Got some wrestling references in there. He might not be able to touch his toes, but and you'll hear the rest when you listen to it, and it'll get caught in your head just as much as it's been caught in the head of everybody who I've let listen to the song.
You know what, Sean? I think we got to go two for
We gotta
here.
go two for.
I gotta give you another
Gotta give
one.
me another one. All right, go
Um,
for it.
I gotta give you another one. Hey, shout out to 2 Chainz.
Two chains, four bracelets.
The right, the song "Crack" by 2 Chainz
Okay. Okay.
has. I played the song like 9 times today.
Okay.
Today, sitting at my desk with my earpiece in because that's what I do. Um, when I wasn't talking to somebody, "Crack" by 2 Chainz was playing in my ear. I don't know what it is about this song, but man, it's been burning me up today. Shout out to 2 Chainz, based on a true story. You know what, guys? Let us know what songs have been burning you up this week. I'd love to hear. Maybe you'll get featured. Maybe you won't. Maybe if we feel like it, we'll peep it.
We will in fact peep it, and I'll leave everybody with one more as well. Um, Panic Switch by Silver Sun Pickups. Oldie,
I love that
oldie but a
song.
goodie.
Oh
Man, that
my
song has
god.
been in my ear. I just,
Oh my
man,
god.
I've been jamming, been
I can hear
jamming.
the bass line in my. I can hear the bass line in my head now.
Fantastic song.
Man.
Fantastic.
Man. You know, when that song comes on, I think of Food Sackless for some reason. I think I heard that song in the Fusaklis for the first time, or the last time I was in Fusaklis, I heard that
Hmm.
song. But every time somebody brings up that song, I think of chicken tenders. But it may just be being a fat ass or whatever. But shout out to
And
Fusaklis.
I think that's where we're gonna leave it.
Well, I'm Lionel, that's Sean, and you just listen to But Peep This, the podcast. See you next time, folks.
This is a Chucky Beat production.